I'm a multiple myeloma patient in remission. I also write for newspapers, and I've done some magazine work. And I had written a column about my experience with my local pharmacy, which it turns out was Joha. They spoke here this time. And they're an MID pharmacy, which again, I never heard what that was. And Coda caught wind of it. And Mike called me up, and Danny kind of made the introduction. And they said, would you like to come out and speak at our summit? And it was in Utah that year. I said, sure, if you want me to. In the meantime, before then, Mike said, so you're a writer? I said, yeah, sort of. So he had asked me to do some papers for him. So we did 3 or 4 articles on MID, which again, all news to me, had never heard about any of this stuff. And I got to be not an expert, but at least, a journeyman about it, because I don't think anybody can ever know all this stuff. We did the interview on stage. It was, people laughed. I thought it went well. So afterwards, Mike comes up to me and says, hey, you know anything about magazines? I said, well, I used to do one. He said, well, we're thinking about doing a magazine for Coda. Would you be interested? I said, yeah, sure. Let me know. So I think it was a week after Thanksgiving, I get a call from Steven Zeiter about doing a magazine, and we have nothing. We don't have a name. We don't know how big it's going to be. We don't know if there's going to be any advertising. We got nothing, right? And like I said, it's in the middle of the holidays. They're trying to figure out all this stuff out, and I think initially we were trying to have it launched by the spring forum, which was Denver, correct? Yeah, Denver. So somehow we got an editorial board together. We put a bunch of stories out, got all the software, got all the material, got enough support staff, and I think we put out, 20 pages, I think, and we introduced it as the prototype in Denver, and it had all the core material that you see in the magazine. We had the cover and stuff, and cover story. I think we covered the fall summit and things like that, and it was a good start, but again, that was just the prototype. The actual launch wasn't going to be until that summer. I think when we first talked about it, we were saying, well, 20 some pages, and I've done enough magazines. If you don't have more than 28, it's not even legitimate. People just can't take it. They think it's a newsletter or something. So as it turns out, I think we were 54 pages. Ended up getting a lot of material, a lot of good stuff. So we had both clinical stuff, some really awesome stories. My favorite was the one of the Encoda members sent in a story written in Dr. Seuss language and poetry. It was hilarious, and it was just kind of the right antidote between all clinical and then just enough human stuff. And I always think that's been the challenge, is try to find that right mix, because I'll always, as a layman, I was like, well, you have to have some stuff in English. People can't, I don't understand half the clinical stuff, honestly, but so it's, we've gone from there. So again, starting from nothing in November, put together the prototype in January. By April, we had the full summer edition, we called it that year. This last one, the fall edition, was the We Are Encoda edition, which was just great, I thought, because we had names and faces, and it wasn't just the people in charge over and over again. We got nurses, doctors, technicians, everyone involved from all facets of it, because to me that's really what Encoda is about. It's, you have this mass group of people all meeting towards one goal, and looking at it from the outside, I think that's what really kind of makes this exciting, because from the ground up, everybody's really passionate about it, and I like it because it's being involved in something that's bigger than you are. So, to hear about this kind of resource and to see the people involved, I mean, it's really touching, and I feel like it's given me the opportunity to be involved with something that's really meaningful. And after 35 years in daily newspapers, that's kind of a nice change, I guess. So
I am Encoda.